Okay. I think we are live everywhere for fourth. Yeah, fourth channel is also up. So last Friday we finished this raised bed, the single unit, four-sided. We'll be putting more single unit to this one. In that case, we'll remove this side, which will take us to this case. The orientation is wrong, but we'll rotate in the game. So the two of these, when they are put next to each other, they can form a closed structure. Let's duplicate this. I believe I have that snap selected. Yes. RZ 90. Actually, it should be 80, right? Yeah. We'll move this. I think I'm moving the wrong axis there. Yeah, the center point is off. So we'll adjust. Right now, it's center. We'll have to figure that out. When this gets in the game in Godot, where will we put the center point is difference. Actually, let's simulate it again. Shift D, rotation 100 in Z. Now that we have that, let's try to do D, Y, 50 meters, 50 centimeters. Okay. So essentially, it's moving one unit from here to here. This is the center for this. This is the center. So this way you could have a closed structure. So we are coming from this to. That's the idea. That will be done automatically in the game. So let's consider this done for the time being. Let's move on to a different target. But before that, maybe we should label this. This is no longer a single model though, so there is no ID, asset ID like this. So we may have to leave that. Let's do the sizing for buckets. Buckets are properly sized. Could use this plastic bucket. I may have resized this actually earlier streams. Yeah, that's the one that I fixed because this bucket right now is almost 3 meters tall, 3 meters wide. It's just too large. Plastic one will do the job. Okay, I think I already did this. Yeah, let's see if we can optimize certain aspects. Now, unlike other models where I'm removing the bottom facing faces, I don't think I'll do it for this one because sometimes this bucket will be knocked over. There's a chance that we'll get to see the other side of this lip here. That's fine. Center is here, so that's good. So we could rotate this around X like this. So is this? Yeah, this is already part of structure. Okay, there is no extra geometry there, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, same reason. I want to remove the bottom. Excuse me. Okay. Let's double check the height, 30 centimeters. I think that looks okay. So about naming. So maybe this file name will be buckets. And this one is plastic bucket, that's fine. But according to the ID system, you can go about this the way we are doing with the other assets. I believe I used MD5 online the other. Let's call it a plastic bucket. And let's do lowercase copy. So this is going to be labeled as, this is equipment. Not as, this is where we actually have a problem, right? Current checkout. This stopped working because the data file is corrupt. Equipment group has to be, okay, let's see, set factory. I believe I have the, yeah. So let's recap. Something can be equipment or planting for sure. It's the category. When you choose equipment, then you could have structures or tools. Just planting, you could have vegetable or, and this is an extra one. I think this will be a third category. These were added as part of miscellaneous. For our purposes right now, a plastic bucket is equipment tool. Tool. Equipment tool. You write the dash here. Click enter. We don't, okay. Do we have a space here in Swiss chart or is it all one word? I think we do have space. No, we have never really truly used it in the game. Let's label it here. Let's see. Just called it tomato, not the right kind of tomato. So this should actually be mountain merit. Okay, I think it's going to be used with the space character. That makes sense to me. This is the bucket itself. This is what's going to be exported to Godot. Let's just for warming up, let's fix this one. Center looks okay. Okay. Is this part of the parented properly? Here's the do it. Fine. Is there anything here we can optimize? It's okay. However, there is extra. Wait a minute. It would make more sense for this to go all the way down instead of cut out like this, so that this thing could wrap it. This could just be a separate object. It doesn't. Okay, so we are fixing it. Like this. So essentially, there's actually, yeah, see, this vertex is connected to this vertex. It should be the same thing for this vertex to this vertex. Instead, we have 4 vertex, 10, I think, sides like this, or corners. Let's fix that. How do we go about that? I think these are all following the same. They are on the same plane. They are on. So if we move them in global axis, it's going to be hot. If we move them in their local axis, uh, how do we show the helper tool gizmo? Object gizmos default. Yeah, I don't want to see that. I want this to show so that, in other words, this is still showing the local. I want this to select everything. Select the bottom faces. I mean vertices. Okay. Let's turn on stats. So yeah, 4 times 10 is 10, 40 vertices, and I think I have just lost the battery died in the mouse. Remove this either. So now that the transformation orientation is local, these are moving in there, except this one. This seems to be moving along. Let's exclude those. Or I will not mess up with this. So let's do it this way. What if we select all this and we do merge selected vertices collapse? Of course, they all collapse. So, cursor center. What we want is that this one is in the center, or that this one is merged with this. Something else going on. Why is there 3 vertices here? Okay, it's selecting the back. It's not working, so M is center, which is this. So we do this for all the. There should be a better way of doing this. Okay, let's be brave. Let's look at it from the side. Select all this 40. When we delete these vertices, and then maybe we connect this one to this one, just do F. This one is F. And most likely it's this one. It's hard to 2, 3. So see, I was selecting, I was bridging the wrong axis there. Use menu. This perspective. Let's look at it from top, which doesn't give any better idea. FU. This one is already connected. Yeah, when we complete the faces, it'll look normal. One more and we're done. So when I just selected this and I did F, I knew where to. Interesting. If I select both F, it actually did something, but it connected this one to this. It's 2. This is more like what we do Alt H. Because when I did Alt H, I was also putting everything in the viewport I see, which looks like the original object cylinder that started this one. Could be hidden. Just gonna get some ice. We still have to fix the height. So we said 30 centimeters. Like we could do this like 10%. Select everything and do S.1. Here's 30 centimeters. We can see that here, right? This one. I always have a hard time finding units. Okay. Centimeter, metric, centimeters. Okay. There you go. 30 centimeters. I don't think this has any weird thing going on. Okay. So this is a wooden bucket. So let's do it this way. Wooden bucket. Copy to clipboard. EQP, tall, wooden bucket. And that's it. Save. I'm just curious how this is. Look. This is okay, straight, and this one has the. Let's look at the center point. That's good. I think this is going to be straightforward too. Let's resize this. This one is metal. Copy. EQP tall uppercase, B uppercase, that. And we do this. Let's look at, this is going to be another 10%. S. Didn't do anything because I did not hit the right key. There. So we have 3 buckets here. This material preview dummy is, I have no idea what that's for. Let's delete it. Let's consider this collection as peripherals and move this into. We have more or less similar structure. Save this. Okay, what else can we fix? Wheelbarrow can be fixed. So here's, I think we have only one wheelbarrow, right? I think we might have different styles of buckets, I get that, but unlikely that we'll have more than one type of wheelbarrow. If that is the case, this should be left as it is. We put an S here. But EQP tall wheelbarrow. Done. That will also be the name for file. So why do we have these two? This one, this one. Is this one then? What is this one? What? What's going on? What is going on? Okay, let's call this peripherals for sure. I think we have a duplicate here. Okay, see, I selected this one, but sometimes I select the other one. Hey man, more Blender work today. Yeah, we have a duplicate here. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's hide all this. Is this good enough? I think this is good enough. EQP, tall, wheelbarrow. Paste the hash. Let's see how big this is. 7 meters. I highly doubt that. And how tall it is it? That 3 meters. At best, this should be half a meter, no? Alt right click to get a menu and pick the one you want under the click. Let's overlap them first to see. Alt right click. Gonna select one, I think. Alt right click. Doesn't do anything. Right click. I'll do alt left click. Okay, it's alt left click. And then you pick the one. Yeah, we'll hide this one. So now that we learned how to select overlapping things, that's brilliant. No, I think I picked. I am, I think, but I'm using their left click bolt. Let's see, edit. Because I used to use Maya and other things, and it's the left click default. Because right click doesn't gel with me, it doesn't make any sense. Because imagine this, you are playing a first person shooter game and the fire button is the right click. So try to sell that to players. They will return the game right away. For my phone. It's dragging things around and being sloppy doesn't mean just. Yeah, well, it's how they imagined it maybe in the first place, but conventions. I'm glad they offer the choice though. I don't really need to find where it is, right? I think I remember it was somewhere here. Anyway, it's left click for me is the selection, but I think based on your explanation, when you say alt right click, it's alt left click. I have overlapping things. it's producing the effect that you are talking about, which is so I have a friend of mine commenting on Facebook, so let me answer him too. Yes, we are doing a bunch of bizarre models. Yeah, I hear you, Manglo. We might be a bit of troubling to use all the details there. The RPG games, yeah. Yeah, you need an item lock thing. Let's see if we can do any optimization work here. I think that is okay. Except the size is not okay. We are looking for wheelbarrow dimensions. Here's blueprint. The length is uh, what the? If L is this and L is this, all this is millimeters. Okay, 1 meter 43 centimeters. Because my mind was going to the centimeter. So we'll do 20%. S 20%. And of course the origin is way off. So it also selected. Let's create a new collection. Right. Let's take this collection here and label it. You go in here. İyi orta gol getirir Tevfik. So Manglo, the other night I saw you streaming too. Blender. You were having a circular object or a path round piece, and you were selecting alternating sections of it. So I think the same night, the other night, like Friday night, the day you were commenting on the raised bed. That's the day. Checker deselect, yeah. Very, very useful. Let's at least remove this part. We don't really need this vortices here, right? Delete them. Of course, when you delete them like that, something else going on here. When we dissolve them, everything here is fine except sloppy little thing for the pathfinding learning I missed. Oh, pathfinding algorithm, you mean? Yeah. Yeah. So you are using Unity, I saw. Yeah, mesh and Unity. So how did that go? Did you get the result you wanted? Let's do it this way. Dissolving those vertices screwed up the model. Fewer triangles, we are okay. Yeah. These vertices are not needed either, because it's in the middle, in the center of this object. Let's dissolve them. Now which actually leaves us with that garbage. There. Yeah, object pooling. Are you going to create? Is it like a wave after wave? Tanks are coming. Guessing if you're referring to pool object pools, that's usually when it's used. Deleting the vertices also are, but it is essentially connecting all these spots, right? So which is worse or better? Merging them to the end or effing them like this? Then we do F. I see it even lost the material. That's bizarre. Yeah. Well, maybe one day we'll make you a Godot person too. If you feel tired of Unity or if you want to try something new. I think in the meantime, this is what I'll try to do here with this model. I'll select this whole mesh. I'll do, was it P? Loose parts. So here's a loose part, here's another part. Let's apply material. I think this could just be simple material, to be honest. It doesn't really need to be that. New. This is steel. Thing metallic like this. This will all change in Godot anyway. Yeah. Surprisingly, I mean, FPS games are kind of easy to build, but then they are not, right? The art takes a long time. Cool. Are you using the asset store to get some stuff available instead of doing everything from scratch? Uh, cool. So how far are you in building the prototype, demo, or release? How far are you into the whole project? I think you already answered it. You said you wanted to play area. Maybe it's still in prototype. Hard to say. That's a good, honest answer. The idea that the idea that we have in our minds how complete the game it is versus reality. Yeah, I think I did this rubber part wrong here. Let's separate these objects. I mean this and we also need to select this, the faces. So let's do P, my selection. So we have two objects and this is going to need a new material. So this is what I don't remember. When we add a new material, it adds a new material here. Okay, this is actually copying and pasting and is a separate material. That's what I wanted. Because this add a new material makes me think it's doing this, but it's actually duplicating it. That should be labeled differently. This is going to be rubber. Let's pick red color. Right now you need to fix navigation and such so you can single script on an enemy that can let the AI behavior path to chase, flip, and control. Okay. Anything you see the shield next to. Yeah, okay, I think I already found. I was just thinking if it that had anything to do with the AI. We were discussing tank shield. It's like, okay, no, it's the Blender interface shield. Yeah. So these materials are here for me to see it actually. We'll be assigning our materials in Godot because we are using a color palette that is not lies here in these files. There's really no good reason or I don't know why. We are not doing it in a way that we are sharing materials yet. That's fine. What if I mess with this? Oops. I mess with this part. How many triangles can I save? Not that many. Not mess with that. I think this is good. Let's fix the center of things. Then be done with this. If I want to make sure I don't want to lose a material or some other data box, you click shield to add a fake user. I think, yeah, I remember reading about fake user. Because otherwise, as you stated, it gets deleted. Yeah. That would be really unfortunate that you do all the work and then it's gone in the name of efficiency. Let's make this bottom part facing the grid. So we are rotating around X. be more precise. I think that's going to be 15 degrees. Mathematically checks out, visually checks out. So everything should be attached to this bad boy here. This guy's pivot point should be yes, I'm going to use flat shading. So the Godot is open here. We have colors like this. Let me open the shader for the material. So we have flat shading like this. So it's just albedo. There is no metallic or roughness. We may have versions of this that are metallic. So we'll put a dash and then we'll call it like metal version of this color. We'll go by color palette. So this will be applied accordingly. More specifically, these names will be matched in the data structure so that data will basically look for these materials to be applied. And we'll do that for this reason. Let me tomato plant. Here we go. So let's see. So in this fully grown state, if the plant is not getting enough nutrition, or there's an insect that's affecting these leaves, normally there's going to be a green color here assigned one of these green colors. That color will change to a different shade of green. Will be kept in the data so that we are not importing another model, but we are just changing the shader. We could, of course, do that with the same material and then just albedo dynamic here. This seemed to be the easiest way, not the smartest way at the moment. So that's the logic behind it. And the model mesh, like yeah, flat and round. Yeah, but this is the style. This is we won't be doing shade smooth. There isn't much to. Here's a since this is duplicate, I think I did all of them. Yeah. So here's flat shading. Here's smooth shading. We'll go with the flat shading. Yeah. In other words, actually our website is down thanks to the hosting company, but I can show you the Steam page. This would be weird because I'm kind of seeing myself in Steam now. So this is the art style we want to go for. It's low poly, flat shading. So when you get close to a tomato plant, yeah, you'll see those leaves like this. I don't think you'll ever get this close. Maybe this much is it. That's it. Yeah. Because doing it smooth is honestly it doesn't add much. There isn't much geometry to it. Am I doing the wrong? There was something pleasant to look at this flat. I mean flat shading. It's that. I think, yeah, we might do that. You're right. Let's try that. Thing then we'll go back to the wheelbarrow. So you are saying this, yeah, that actually looks nice. Could do that. We'll try if it doesn't look awkward overall with other plants. It look actually weird in carrot. Yeah, in the wheelbarrow. We'll see the art style because it is contrasting. It might look weird, but carrot actually that look weird because maybe it didn't have enough geometry. This one actually looks cute, fine, fully grown. I think when we did this, it kind of looked weird. Like with the rest, it just didn't look like. I honestly thought there was something wrong, and then I noticed that it was mood shading. So we'll decide how that goes. Wheelbarrow, this one, and here um, it actually runs this coming from this side to this flat side. It's rounding this corner. That's really what it is. We'll see. And of course, this material here has specularity, which may actually be the same thing in Godot or not. We'll see. Leave it flat for now. Yeah, I could do it specifically. Let's take these two. Yeah, the side can be flat. Let's select the bottom faces here. So we are at that phase, create the prototype, the game. Some of these art concerns will be important, but we'll get to that point after we have the prototype. Okay, here's the proper origin. So I'm assuming the midpoint here between these support structures is the center. Now this should be parented. This, I think it's Control P, and this should be parented to. This could be joined, mind you. Let's do join. Okay. Then this is gonna be parented to this, and here could be joined. Then that could be parented to this. This could be parented to this. This is going to be parented to this. Good. Now, when we move this, no one is left behind. Godot respect the mesh info. Yep. C sharp support. Godot. I only used C sharp in Godot 1.5 years ago. And then I thought I was still writing too much code for like opening files, reading content. I noticed that if you use GD script, was a lot faster, so I switched right away. The support was good. Maybe it's got even better, I don't know. But it's fully supported as far as I know. Maybe we don't have like C sharp 8.0. And we have 7.0. But I mean, most things that you do, it is in there. So that is another alternative, really. If you're coming from Unity, C#, you would feel comfortable at least in the programming department. Learn Godot, do some stuff, and then maybe switch to GD script for convenience. But I think it's fully supported as far as this wheel is not exactly in the right collection. Just creeping up there. So one other thing we can do is that I may have prematurely rotated this because in this whole thing, this one, should rotate around X so that this actually bottom. So we'll do something like RX. I think it's good enough. We'll do RX. -3. This looks flat to me. Good. So now we can properly do scaling. We decide to, okay. It's 6 meters. We find the dimensions for this. We did. It's going to be, we said 20%, right? S. Why is it selecting? Because I have them here. S20. Good. Now we'll center it properly. This now has to come snap command to it GX or not. It snapped. What we want. Okay. I think we are done here. LG clears position as in sets it to 0, 0, 0. That is also another thing we should do. Not related to that other problem because I was actually selecting the canvas, therefore scaling everything. But we should apply all transforms. Yep. So let's go to centimeters to comprehend. So we want this. I might have scaled down before I applied the I applied the transformation, hence it's perhaps too. This doesn't look wrong to me. 30 centimeters looks correct to me too. This looks sort of, no, this looks correct. 118. This is the length on Y. So here's a question for you. You know more about Blender than I do. So this is 118 centimeters in Y. It makes sense. It looks rotated, but we don't care because if it was flat, it would be 180. Fine. We look at this one, it's 18 centimeters. It checks out visually. This is like maybe, I don't know, 1/5, 1/6 of this total length. When I select both, shouldn't I see 118 plus the 18 from, therefore 136.3? That's what's confusing me in Blender. It's like, why am I seeing the parent's measurement there? I think I see that kind of discrepancy here too. It doesn't always display the correct numbers. Active objects bounding box. Although that's a valid explanation, this goes back to that left click, right click thing. It's about convenience and what makes sense to the user, right? User experience. Maybe next question is try to deselect everything. Yep. Press A. Selects everything. And yet I still see this. But none of the selections are active. I mean, how more active can they be? They are selected. What do you mean by it? By active, you mean like the last selected object is like you parenting, that kind of stuff. One object is always the active. One element is the active one. Right? So when you have any multi-selection, yeah, the one that is a different color usually noted with yeah, different color that it was. So here's yellow. Here's yellow. I do this plus shift select this. I'm seeing 18. So because this is the last one, this is the. So yeah, if I select this one plus select this one, I'm seeing the active one. So it confirms what you're saying, but yeah, my frustration is like what happens when I select both at the same time? And it just thinks that I'm kind of, right one last. It's 18. If I select it from here, doesn't matter. Well, they're always improving it. Maybe there will be some kind of property to check on. Yeah, I understand the explanation. Like the mode is selecting something and then you apply modifier. I'm confident this is the right size. 136 is more or less 143, so I'm actually okay. Your suggestion makes sense too. You have a visual reference here, and then it's just that sometimes it would be nice to see the total. So that is it for wheelbarrow. What else can we do? Do we need to fix rain barrels? Rain barrels. I could temporarily join the objects. That might be. I'll undo. Yep, 136. That might work. Let's attack rain barrel. There's a mess of modifiers. So we have see. I see they are both labeled as rain barrel, but their ID is different. Yeah, a lot of different ways. I bet one of these is the. This one is the round one. Nope. So let's put this here. Rain barrel flat. Maybe he put flat here as whatever I'm writing here. Hoping that. Oh, I think it combines both. Rain barrel flat. I don't know how he did it. I would call a rain barrel flat. The new ID. Copy. Let's fix the top one too because we are going to need it. That one is the round one. It's already cleaned up to a certain extent. We may find more. I think I know where we'll find. Oh, that is good. Not like the bucket. Use a mesh. The size might be off, but maybe I scale this. I don't remember. Good luck with modeling. You gotta go. Yeah, bon appetit. Enjoy the food and the rest of your day. And thank you for the help. I think this is as close as we can optimize. This looks okay to me. Save this. Let's check the size. It's in imperial units. Don't like imperial forces in this part of the universe. This is a meter tall. Sense some pedestal here. Okay, that's two. The center is off though. The pivot. I think we could put the pivot here because that would help us with the rotation and such. And it's parented properly. We can see that. You base selection, its selection Q, cursor to selected, then Q, origin to 3D cursor, Shift tab, snapping this. I think the shortcut for it is move it. Of course, if you move it in edit mode, it'll take in the object itself instead of moving the object itself. So we are done. Since we give the player a way to rotate it, I'm worried about this faucet facing the right axis. This is done. Hit this one. This one, the center is okay, luckily. I know it's not. Bottom. Okay, so let's select this edge, you go down. Two. This mesh is perhaps too large. What are these? It's as if one of them was done. I see, it's copied and then they're just left over. So here's what we'll do. First of all, we don't need these 6 or 8 be here. One more of this. It's not even centered. Could get rid of at least 4 here, another 4 here, and the 2 extra here. That's a lot of vertices. And $720. That's too many. We had whole models that were less than that, fewer than. Okay, time to I'll do this way. Select everything P by loose parts. So I will consider this garbage. Actually, I will consider most of it garbage. I will. How do we go about it? Select all this garbage, which more garbage. Time to ban people. Bye. Let's add an array modifier in when you say factor x, should you be growing in x? because this is relative offset, constant offset. Okay, this doesn't make sense. Distance x. I bet this object has been rotated. There you go. Done. Let's try to do this. There you go. This, it makes sense now. So this is actually too narrow. You can optimize it this way. If we by decreasing number of counts, by giving more space between them, we're optimizing it. So we can even maybe go because we are trying to cover a surface that is maybe this much. When we do Alt H, we'll see. This is also not centered properly. So we could easily remove 5 more. So 14. Let's be okay. Let's do H again. This has to move in. Let's see if this is rotated. It is rotated. Let's apply the transform. Let's apply the modifier. We'll do 3.5, 0, 14 here. The direction here is right. Let's do Alt H. Where are we here? Here. Cube. One of these is the other cube. This also has to move in. I think that covers it. The flat one has a big. I think this was also used for the flat one. That's why. That's why they are too long. So this is maybe it was done here and then taken over to. Yeah, same. So we will fix this one too. We'll fix that other one. This could also move GX. That's it. For 7, top view. This is just barely enough. Here too, barely enough. The length doesn't matter because from the CPU's point of view, whether it renders this vertex here or here, it doesn't matter. It's the same number of vertices. So since the length doesn't matter, we could actually take this length and apply it to the flat case. So is this all there is though here? I think it is. So I want to do smart duplicate here. But if I do that, I'm going to have to increase this in the flat case, right? Number of this. Okay, let's go fix the other one individually. We have all Sunday. Let's select everything here. E, loose parts. So now we have too many loose parts here. Let's do the way we did it. It's all going away. Not this one. Okay, we just need those two parts. Top view. We do array modifier, but before that we have to apply the transforms. Done. Array modifier. Relative is fine. 3.5 minus 5. Do this. We'll come back to that. We do this. Not that. This. And this is gonna go in Y. 3.5. Again, the wrong direction. Something like this. Let's do Alt H. Too many. We could get down to 7. And this one, done. Looks okay to me. I mean, look at this one here. You could get away with one few here. This looks awkward, but here's what we'll do. GX. Have the snapping. Set. Now, because no one is going to get this close and examine it from this angle, it's going to feel like there's just another one maybe on. If we can do the same trick here. Okay. Maybe a bit of more centering here. It has to go a little bit more. Okay, same idea. From here, from this bar to this bar, maybe there's just another one we imagine. And let's see if we can do that trick here too. I think we've already done something like that. At least usually checks out. So that concludes the rain barrel. Height is okay, we checked it. Let's see. Let's go back to Trellis. Where is Trellis? Yeah, I prematurely labeled this because not the Trellis that we want. It should be labeled trellises. Okay. And the right one is going to, yeah. So this is a boxed trellis. This kind. This kind. These names will change, but for the time being, we'll call this. Let's figure out a name for these two because they are essentially straight up pieces, but one is diamond. This one is the diamond. And this one is the square trellis. So if this one happens to have a diamond shape, with a box, it's going to be a different naming problem. Square box trellis. Or everything will be a trellis. Let's call it this way. Equipment, structure, trellis, boxed, square. Here's your code name. And when it's not boxed, we call it straight. I think people know what a trellis is, right? Could be, this is also a trellis too. I think in most cases, a flat upright structure. Square. Okay, let's keep it this way. EQP, STR, list, square. Reserve ID, and we have the diamonds. This one. EQP, STR. We already fixed this. We made this 2.8 meters, 2.1 meters. So we'll make something like that out of this one. Another improvement we made in the other one, we deleted the underlying faces here. And also the side faces. We could also delete the faces here for these two. This one, maybe we don't touch it. You see, here's a trick. If we make these three snap, we could actually save a few more faces here. Bottom two, but yeah. So I predict array modifier. Let's go in, select all, A, loose parts, loose parts. Okay. Let's start by deleting. Let's multi-select, edit, edit this. We'll never get to see that ever. Okay. I will do an array modifier for this one. So let's actually do the bottom one because we'll do Z up. Here's a face, this face. Okay. So it's essentially an inverse U. So let's see how many we 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. 12 of them. 12 of them. And this is where whole parenting thing. Okay. Apply the scale and everything is fine. It's going to be array modified 12 in Z. You also need to have formation applied Z1 and twice apart. So 3, 3.5. Something like that. Let's go orthographic. So what I want to do is to tighten these vertical ones. So we don't have a weird. What are we really seeing here? So how do you do that? You do SX. You're changing their scale. You're not. Okay, GX 10 centimeters minus 10, and it's too much. 5, even that's too much. One centimeter, really? Let's do another check here. So this is going to be our axis like this. This perfect. Okay, this has more meaning now. This we get to see some. Of course, you have more gap here, but think what we can do, move this another centimeter here, this one too, get rid of one of these, hide those two. You move gx 0.01, this one gx minus 0. Let's see, and maybe it will have two actually. Yeah, we might need to. So we'll do something like Q selection, Q. So I want to imagine their center point here, so I can snap it. How do you do that? Bounding box center, EX. So is it because that was a different file where I had it? GX did. I also molded in Y or Z. GX 1 centimeter here. GX. We may have to move this out another. Even move. Wrong direction. I think that's okay. One thing that I did by mistake, I think, was to move this a bit high, which visually makes some difference. Why are you not moving? Because oh, GZ. Do another orthographic test. Try to move it here if you. A little bit up. We are done. That's it. Bizarre part, right? Because looks okay here. Kind of has to look okay here too. Orthographic. Okay, I will consider that done. Approval still has those inside faces, right? Or side faces. Done. Bottom can also. No one is gonna see that. The back is fine. This is where I was actually moving this quite liberally. It's not really matching the. I have to snap this to this area. The snap vortex edge. But I do G Y. It did it, but oh boy, there is. Not gonna do it. This guy's origin is here. This guy's origin is. Take a short break, stretch my legs, and I'll come back. So let's join these two. Edit, view, cursor to selected. I have no idea what I'm selecting anyway. This is now its center point. View this. The origin is there. This origin is still wrong because it's assuming it's in the middle of this axis. Right there. We wanted it at the back or at the front. So it would actually snap to this horizontal one. So this is what we'll do. Tab, select edges. This edge, good. This edge. Do you not have an edge here? God. Whoa. Is okay, why were you not selecting the edge? Now you're not selecting this edge. What is going on? Okay, two edges are selected. Q cursor to selected. Q origin to cursor. Now when we look from the side, it snapped to this. Now when we do G, Y, this edge, they will be perfectly aligned, but we can't really see it from the there we see it. So this one is snapped. These two are just snapped to this horizontal slats. So done. Okay. If this top frame were not there, we could actually see it. Okay. I think we are done here. So let's get another orthographic view. Something like this. I think it's okay. Let's do some parenting. Or not. Okay, what is the difference between this one and this one? It's just the middle part. All the frame is the same. Okay, so we could join this one. Okay, that's one object. So this is an array. Let's apply that. We are okay with that. Okay. So let's do these. Let's also join these two. I don't care. This one here. This one is here. So this two will be parented to this one. Okay. It's like this. Then we do tab. We do edge selection. Use edge. Use another edge, and we do this. Okay, now everything is perfectly centered. Now this has to be 2.1 meters tall. So we'll multiply this. So 4.75. 2 meters. That's not bad. we saved a lot of triangles because this was denser. We had one more vertical beam here, so that's all done. I don't remember the old count, but it's a lot. Now we'll take the frame here. We'll get rid of the inside part and basically optimize this one, diamond one. This has a lot of, it looks nice, but perhaps it optimizes. So here's the number we have for this inside section, 472 triangles. Actually, not quite so, because this is what I'm not happy about what Blender is doing. Sometimes it's showing stuff that is selected, sometimes it's showing overall numbers. How do I get to see this? Tab, select everything, 424. Four hundred and 24 is the number we. What we can also do here is we take the other structure, put it here. If you delete this, I bet. Okay, then nothing happened. That's actually good. Let's do it this way. We'll take this structure. Let's make when I do smart duplicates, get this selected. Okay. Then I want to move you to the other. And we hide this one. So this is the structure that came from the previous collection. This is the part we have to worry about. Let's scale this up. Could be done. The benefit we got so far is this frame itself is optimized, so the bottom faces are not there. We haven't really optimized our diamond shape. Do we not have the ambient occlusion? Don't. There you go. Easier to see. So first of all, could definitely get rid of a bunch of faces here. So I'll do something like this. Let's come back to this structure. Let's take one of these, or just take this one, Shift E, keep it in place, move it to that other collection. Okay, hide yourself, come here. Placement isn't that important, so I'll try to simulate this in a separate area here. Okay. Select all. For some reason, it was selecting parts from this mesh. That's bizarre. Loose parts done. So get rid of all this. Now this has to be rotated 45. One of these. Problem though, are they the same thickness? I think more or less the same. This face is open, so that's good. Question though, underneath is actually empty. When you look from here, do you ever get to see the underneath parts? Kinda. When it's moving in this direction, you might notice like if you rotate this so that this end goes down and this end goes up, you're looking at this section. So here it will be missed. It will be missing. They're really that important. Well, graphic view. Two, three, four, five, like this. This is like this is the right thing. I don't think it matters. And if it matters, we'll put 1 before we apply the modifier. Let's keep it. The origin point for this is here because this was parented to a structure here. We want that's incorrect. Now this is correct. Now if you rotate, you'll rotate around here. You want to rotate around Y. RY. Is it though? It is. The length might be off. Again, we'll adjust it. So let's do Ray. Go crazy. We'll go in Z, right? But this is before you apply the modifier. So transforms done. 0. What am I doing? That looks about right. Remember, this actually has, this part has to be all the way up here, so you can do this, and then we'll chop the ends. So may need 1 more or less, but we need actually, this one is this one. We need 1 more, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay. So this one is essentially here. So put this center point here. Because when this is cut off, yeah, I was overzealous here. Nope, this is correct. Yeah, we may need 1 more. I don't know. Trying to optimize this. Let's do Alt D, smart copy, keep it in place. We want to rotate this around Z, RZ, 180 degrees. Of course, it rotated around here. Here at this point, it doesn't. GX. The length is definitely not. This width is. What's the width here? 2 meters this way in X. Oh, this is rotation. Okay, which makes me think this was wrong too. It's not gonna do it here. Kind of mad. This is actually rotated. Here's the problem. When you look at this value, 2 meters, Z, you think that this is 2 meters. It's not, because it's actually rotating around Y. So it is still actually 2 meters, but if it wasn't rotated around Y, this actually would be knocked down. Be like this, 2 meters. So then you are thinking, what is 5 meters? So, because if you do it this way now, it's like, well, this is 5 meters. So all over the place. So then it kind of makes sense this way. This is 5, like 2, another 2. I don't know. So like maybe this is 2 meters. Random rotations, exactly. Fortunately, I copied this to the other collection without applying the things. Gives me an error anyway. Because I joined stuff too. I think they don't like to be joined. Yeah. I got this model from someone else, so fixing things, but I don't always. I assume that the scale is always done properly. Should actually fix that first and then make my own modification. So I'm assuming you've eaten. How do we fix this scale first? Let's focus on this. Yep. I'll have to figure out lunch at some point. So what is the problem here when we do this? Cannot apply to a multi-user object trellis to something. 2003, which is and cube something. 027. Mesh data block has more than one user. That might be because I actually made a smart copy of it here. In here. Okay, so assuming that's the problem, let's delete that. Let's come to this, and it does it. So that's one way of doing it. Here's the question. If you duplicate it in a smart way to 50 other collections, will you delete 50 copies to come back to the original to scale and then apply it again, that feels dumb. Or you could just make a copy of it there, which breaks the whole point of like, well, if I ever want to come here and then fix some corner here, then I'm losing the part duplicate, right? We got lucky here. We'll just do it again. Alt D, keep it in place, move it to this collection, turn it off here, and we are done with that. Now, as we can see, this is actually 5 meters tall, which is huge. And you have to first make the data block unique then. I think this is what you're talking about, right? This guy. It's the cube data. Either two, yeah, it's shared by two. Click to make a single user copy, yeah. Yeah, it makes it unique to this one. Which then I believe will keep the. But I actually want those mesh data to not be unique, so that if I change the mesh in the original one, I end up here. Yeah. Get the other old version. Or here's the way. Um, Pay attention to scales, right? Because now this guy looks ridiculous too. Because look at the scale. Look. Yeah. Because imagine this scale. I mean, how horrible can it get? How much more horrible? And of course, let's apply array modifier there. This is actually correct. What we want. Yeah, at some point this has gone wrong in a really horrible direction. Should come down. Yeah, that's the goal, right? Scale 1, rotation 0. Just go with the default values and then make your changes in the edit mode. Yeah, and then once you do the duplicate, you could scale up. I actually did that in tomato model. Where is the tomato model? It's never around when you need it. So initially, all these leaves you could open. All these leaves in all the stages were dumb copies. So I made one, and then I did smart duplicates. The scale is changing, but I only change it in the copies this way. This is wrong too, mind you. It's a different case. Yeah, this is one that I actually did change here, but I didn't take over from here. Probably Chrome 2 for that reason. Yeah, anyway, the way I found it, let's say, was quite different than it ended up. Yeah, scaling makes sense here because we want these leaves to be smaller at the top and then larger and larger when you go to the bottom. So you can actually see some detail here. Larger, but it's the same leaf. So we'll scale this down for sure. So we'll do something like 40%. And then this is where we'll apply the modifier. And then this is exactly the same problem because I have a duplicate of this. Okay, this is where you were saying mesh data. I'll do this one. Can do Control A, this fixes the problem. So here's my chance of showing what I mean. If I make this change, I don't think this change will be reflected here because it's a different mesh data, which kind of breaks the whole point of having this object modifiable by the original. So I want to have the luxury of scaling the original and then have the scale applied to all the copies without actually making the underlying data. Let's see, go back to the one you edited. Here we are. I might undo this. You. Rename the mesh data block. I think I may have to do one more undo because this is still single use. So you want me to undo one more so that we go to the double user? No, no. Okay, this has been made unique. Name it to something useful. Here I did name it to something useful. Since you said useful with double L, I'll actually do that. Just so it looks goofy. Edit it so you can see the change. Here's the change. Yep. Go back to the old one. This is actually the old one, but it doesn't matter, right? I guess. This has been copied from the little guy. Changed it. Ah, I see. I think I know what. Yeah, I see. Not quite like that, but from here, useful. I see. So it's using. I see. That's smart. That's smart. Let's hide this. This is a huge mess here. This one. See. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. You are right. Funny thing is, I should have thought about this because here's, I mean, how the whole material thing works. You create material once here, you select another object, then you're able to utilize materials that are used in other objects. So there's a reference system. This works the same way too. It never occurred to me to actually utilize another mesh data. Yeah, materials. So yeah, I use the materials often as data blocks, but the mesh data is not something I mess up with most of the time. This is one tab that is not visited that often. Yeah, you can actually tell it's designed by engineers. Definitely. So now that we did that, let's stick this back in its place. Um, so I'll use this. I feel confident today I can use this. So I'll select those two edges. I'll do edge um, G to the center point doesn't match. Okay. If I could figure this one out. Could do it individually. Yeah, let's do it individually. G this Z, okay. G Z to this level, done. Done. Give it set to active. Give it tap with active. That might have been the fastest way to do. The left of that one. Oh, this one. I see. So yeah, my idea was to select both edges, bring them down to this level. I did it one by one, but I think what you're suggesting may do it in one. As usual, multiple ways, same thing. Okay, now that this mesh data has been fixed, we are confident it will be fixed here too. Let's see it. Let's move this monstrosity out of the way. It's fixed. Now, we know that this is 2 meters tall. Let's not mess with that. Um, this is looking horribly big. We are trying to fit this into this area. We could change the length. This board. Let's go into edit mode. Okay, good luck with your badly written code. Thank you again for the help. Maybe in the next weeks I'll do some coding as well in the stream. Select these vertices, let's move them in their normal. This. This is selected, right? That's what's happening. And that is once again happening because we did not multiple stuff. Yeah. And this is where we do that trick that you showed me. We'll do rotated slats. We'll enter tab. It is still not moving it. Still moving in global Y. Oh, I didn't apply the changes. I made the mesh unique. Doesn't make sense, but it's giving us the effect we want. I believe this length is okay. So for this one, we'll come here and we'll say use the rotated slats. And we'll do application form. Actually, we'll do application, then rotated. It's horribly gone wrong. We don't even know where they are. Bucket deleted. Let's move you in your place. G, Y, or X. Okay. Let's look at your data. So GX. You could get this under 10. It is actually good. But we need that one. Actually, we need yeah, we gotta move this down, right? GZ. Yeah, need something like this. Save. Since we fixed the scale problem, okay, let's do Alt D in place. Rotate Z 180. Okay, then let's apply the transforms. This is going to give us that same problem. So we could actually do something like this one. Let's make it unique so we can apply the rotation, and then we go back to rotated slats, which takes us to this. Okay, I think I know exactly where the problem is. Alt D in place. If I edit the slats, R Z 180, then all of them will be. So we really want to make another copy of this. So RZ 180 in we'll make this one way and Control A transforms done. Now we can individually edit this. Here's the difference. This is 164 triangles, so we have another 164 for the other orientation. That's 328. That's much better than 420 something. We have 100 fewer triangles. Does it look good though? Maybe one more so that we actually take this down to 0.2, 0.25. Let's do a constant offset. That's confusing me. It's too much. We'll do something like 15 centimeters apart. 30. Sorry, 20. So we'll do the same thing for this one. This has to be 12, right? Yeah, we're approaching that other. You're not really gaining that many. Still close to 100. So this is what I was pointing out. Underside mesh at the face. See, you gotta look at it in the right context. Here, you never get to see the bottom because of the camera angle. Because this is 45 degrees and this is orthographic camera, you will never get to see the underside. You go into perspective mode, here you will actually see. The higher pieces will have their bottom pieces missing and visible to the player. Even though it's the same condition, your line of sight is blocked here because of the perspective. But in a photographic view, it's about the camera angle. Of course, if you do it this way, you'll see it, but our camera angle in the game will be something like this. So you'll never get to see it. Question, of course, does this look good? I could take this structure a little bit up. We have a bit of a better balance here with the triangles left over, or sort of like cut in the. This is also a little bit of weird ending here. So to do that, you need to do this GZ a little bit up, right? Like this. So you have this sort of mini triangles all around. And perhaps we need one more slat here. 13. Awkward. Do that here. Then Take it back down again. Which brings us to the whole other question of this 25 centimeters is okay or not. That's it. This is a better balanced structure. So the reference, the original one, we had more from I think it was from Wayfair website, right? Was it Lowe's? Yeah, this doesn't look that dense. I like it actually. But it's as if the original reference that I gave the designer was denser. So here's another model with dense lattice. I think it's okay, whatever we want to do. This way, we can even go lower here, right? That's not even visible. But this is visible for sure. We get it under 10. Let's actually do it from. I don't think that's this. That's it. This corner here. And remember, this will be pushed to the front a bit. If anything, what we should probably do is this. This corner has to be inside the structure. That is not properly centered. Select both, do GX like this. Okay. That may actually change. That's more. That's it. This detail won't be visible at all. There, it could end like that. There. So I think this is as good as it can get. Let's do. What is the width of this? 2.5 centimeters. That's it, or 2.4 centimeters. So we'll move this in dy 0, 0, 5. Move it 4. That's it. We didn't use the snapping perfect. So they are nailed. Okay. To be honest, the whole thing could actually get in a bit more. This and that. Gy, not minus, is what we want. Okay. So the back part is also. We are going to that much effort. I think that's center enough. This looks okay to me. Photographic view, camera angle, out of the offshoots. Okay. And then be done with it. So how do we do that? We apply the array modifier, done. Then we go into edit mode, right? And we just chop things off. Of course, when you delete it, it's going to look awkward, so we'll do it this way. This is going to have to be moved in normal. This is where I remember moving along this axis. Why is it not doing it anymore? I don't think it's because I have. Here comes Google. Blender. Move along normal doesn't work. I mean, it's not even a complicated case like this. Like that each has its own normal. Well, I suppose it is. What difference does if we have four vertices? It's still the same axis, mind you, what I'm talking about. It's a complicated case, but using Alt S will do the same individual. Set transform orientation to normal, which we did. And pivot point to individual origins, which is and then hit G and then Z button twice to move along normal. That's not what I'm doing. But either way, isn't this supposed to? See, this is what I'm thinking. The fact that this is here, something here, this is set to default, not normal. Thing is hinky here. Okay, let's set this to normal. Hit G, Z, Z. Well, he said Z for his cases. We'll do G, Y, Y. I know the x-axis works. It should not be a guesswork because according to RGB, right? Red, green, blue, green should be the y-axis. So this should have been moved along its y on the normal. Like this way. It doesn't make sense. For the time being, we'll just move this along X. Dx. Dx. Okay, we'll assume this is good enough. Dx. Okay, it's all done. Tab, select. Oh, apply G. Dx. Dx. I think you're in there, yes. Dx. Dx. Dx. The other way around. I think some of those are rotated, that's why I'm having trouble with the axis. So I tend to sort of grow first. Then I change the axis again to shrink. So I mean, I tend to sort of go out. Gx. I think that's it. So here's, you see that 1mm thing. I didn't push this up 1mm. It's fine. This is not going to be animated, so none of those things will matter. Save. Let's take both of you, join, make you parent, make you child of this. Here's everything. Here's a diamond. Trellis. Yeah, so this little guy here is also important. It would have been too big of a hole here. That detail is important. So we did this. Surprisingly, under 120 triangles instead of 427. It's a big improvement, I believe. Properly labeled, that's fine. What else? Let's fix this one. Close some of these. Table and chair. A nice looking table. Let's turn on ambient occlusion, which already is on. Something funny looking about this though. Bit of detail here, which is okay, but kind of lost. You can either have it flat to serve geometry. Let's turn on the stats. Greater than 64. Let's run the game and then see that table. Does it really make any difference? This is the level of detail that we'll see. LT, some soil, tomato, Monterey. Oh. Preview. Okay. Get some light. So in most cases that detail is lost, and when we get here it's almost not there. We could actually have it flat. We could pronounce better. Means we'll select this face and we'll take it down. Z. And we'll actually do S. There's a bit of lip there. So it's easier to knock things down. Spill. It's a bit too much. Good enough. Curve is okay. This is where we can save some face. Oh, I see. This is just a whole structure by itself. I'm just debating whether I make this part, this leg part of this top part. Because I believe there's a vertex here that actually creates an angle. Yeah. So coming down and then making an angle to go out. So which means there is some invisible geometry here. For this one, definitely delete this top part. Also the bottom part. Faces. Okay. And I think this is the trick that Manglo was. Let's name this. Say leg. A creative name. So when you select these three others, they are not going to use their own meshes. They're going to use leg. Now when you come here, select one of them. This top face should have been deleted. What the hell happened there? Why are you okay? So it didn't apply to multiple. Why did it only apply to one? I have no idea. but here it is. That's a nice trick. Let's select this face, bottom face. No one is gonna see that. It's gonna be like this. If you really want to push our luck, we can enable not that one because that's visible, but this one. Fewer triangles. Instead of having 82 triangles, we are looking at 74. So we could actually shave off another 8. Really awkward, but so this is essentially hovering. No one see that. And you need the rest to get the curve visible. It's the orthography, because if we delete one more, meaning this one, that might actually look too sharp of a. It's fine. The camera angle is this way, we could delete it, but I don't quite know if this is matching perfectly what we have in Godot, so I'll leave it. Let's apply transformation. It's going to give us this porting, because I did not apply the mesh leg is shared by 4 objects to multiple user scale transformation. I think the trick to this is it's kind of counterproductive. Maybe there is actually an add-on for this, or maybe in future versions of Blender. Because I'm going to make all of them unique, right? Or at least this one unique. Okay. Here, see, it still doesn't do to all 3. It still does one by one. That's clearly something is off. Okay, so they're individual. Now you do this, Control A, scale. Now we come back and then change them to leg again. Where are you? Don't tell me you moved here. I defeated the whole purpose, but then it's like, well, luckily they are not duplicates, so that's fine. This scale is fine. This one is also going to be formed done. We have this structure, which is just a table, and the 4 legs. So your height is 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. 72 to 2 centimeters. This one. 7 centimeters. So 50 by 50. Oh, just your height here. It's 7 centimeters. It's not taken into account how tall, okay, where you are in the world. Because when I actually did it, I also zeroed in this one, so that was not smart of me. 43 plus more or less 7, half of 7, that's 50 cents. This is actually good. Okay, I think the size here is okay. I think I resized this a while ago, but the name is not correct. Call it table square. Okay. Maybe we'll sell the players round tables. So this is going to be, by the way, peripherals. This plane is also not needed. Here, we don't want to see that. There's a chair separate. Equipment, structure, table, use your proper name. And we will have chair basic. EQP, STR. Yeah, let's just thinking about how we do the in-game naming of certain items. There's the visible name to the player and some in-game name for the data. In-game name of the structure in the data file. So here's our chair. Okay. We shouldn't delete this face. That's underneath face can be deleted. In fact, all the underneath faces for this structure can be deleted. Extend. Okay. I don't need this. But then again, no one is going to see it. So if we catch a perfect angle here, imagine this. This vortex is coming here. There's a straight line here. that it goes right through these wooden pieces. Okay, so you don't really need to see this curve. Yeah, because we said 610, right? We are around 600 mark. We were. We'll maybe take this down to 500 or something. So meaning from here to here, there isn't going to be that many pieces. So what we can do here is go Vortex Mode, select all this. We are dissolving these. When I do that, I'm hoping that it's going to keep the ends. Might be wrong about that. No, it did. In some other structure, it didn't do that. Actually, when I did this, it still didn't do exactly what I wished, because this one completely gone. Yeah, it only kept this diagonal one, which is wrong. Means now I have to select this, delete the edges, and then I have to connect them individually anyway. So in other words, I'm connecting this face. I don't even need to see the top. Just need to connect this side. What is this? Ooh, not that one. F it. Okay, the bottom, I don't care. Even this inside part, I don't care. Now, if we remove this, we do the damage in chairs. Maybe we'll do it with dirt or missing parts. If we ever tackle that, we'll actually look at it later. Right now, you know what? This is enough, because this is giving you the same illusion with only one face here. It's missing the bottom, it's missing this side, it's missing the top. That's done. Even this inside piece can go. No one is gonna see it. Faces gone. The sides can go. Butchered it. So it's just an L shape. This part and this part, and even that part is not seen. Because bottom part, no one is gonna see it. No. It's just that facing part. It's just a plane there. Same effect. Okay, we have to do the same thing for this area. This is what I'll try to do maybe. Let's do face selection. When you do F, is it just one face? It is one face. But here's where are the vertices? Did not. But now I can dissolve. So deselect. Select the face. Select the face. What is this? Select the face. Face. Let's disable this guy. Vortex mode. Control click this. So we are now left with this. Vortices. Dissolve them. What happens? Simply delete them. If all I'm doing is deleting vertices, I can't do that myself. Selecting something. Ten. 1, 2. Go to edge mode. These edges are selected, but this edge is not selected. When you dissolve edges now, what happens? Same shit. I want to select you two, just the two of you, 4, the two of you, 2 of you, 8, you, 10. Just delete them. And then we'll do this edge, do this edge, F it. Here's a straight beam. It's like we have that here. No one needs to know that. Except we are telling them now. So see the top parts here? Did I already do that? No, I didn't. Delete those faces, done. I think, let's do loose parts, separate them, because this looks slightly, maybe we can do it this way, from the front or back. Anyhow, this is the way. We'll do S, Y, tuck them in. Okay. We don't have that sort of weirdness going on, because the light is gonna catch. Perfect. Maybe we'll make this part flat too. Doesn't matter. Now, this can be done. Base this. And of course the bottom parts. Whoa. Wait a minute. Well, from 600 over 600 or 50 approaching. Do we need this curve detail here? See how important is it? There's some effect going on. Or straight. Some detail here, that's fine. Okay, let's keep that. We may even exaggerate that. Let's actually exaggerate. Doesn't look accidental. So this piece is the same piece as this one, so utilize the, let's select everything and we apply the scale first. Rotation and scale. Save. Short break. Okay. Now that we apply the scale, I'm hoping by altering this geometry here, essentially we have to dissolve these vertices, right? Like say, it's okay to have this one connected to this, to this, to this. You don't need these two. Similarly, you don't need this. So in essence, this, all this can be resolved. This is a different story because just to come, I mean, here it's the same thing. This can just be. You need this here though, perhaps. And even then, you could actually connect this one, so it's a triangle. We'll do that separately. So we're hoping that by dissolving these, no idea what's wrong with the geometry. We'll do it manually. Let's do M by distance. Remove duplicates, remove zero vertex or vortex. I can already see the normals are wrong. That explains it. Because look how shiny this is. It should be shiny here, but instead it's shiny. It's just Which one was it? So smooth. Will it do it here? It won't. Shader. Same shader. It's the same. Okay, maybe because I fucked up the geometry. So F. Can we do it like this? Sometimes it does F. Yep. Whoa. The UV is all over the place. I see. Okay, here's what we are doing. New material. Here. Here's some wood color. Okay. Bye-bye. Like shit. Okay. Still wrong, but this is making sense. This is of course wrong. Let's delete that edge. Let's F this. See, this is the thing. We don't need really need all these vertices. Not even this. So as usual, when we dissolve them, merge edges and faces. Okay, see, it does now. Sometimes it does. That's good news. So we want this one to merge here. Okay. It's like this. This one to merge here. And then we'll fill the other side accordingly. This is not needed. Just the straight. So dissolve this. Let's do inside parts. F. This one to this one. This to this F. So let's do when you do F here, what happens? Do you do F like this? Then maybe do you do this opposite sides F? So that's and this one F. Okay. You can actually do it this way. And that's it. Bottom is done anyway. So now this part. For that, we can now investigate if these vertices are we dissolve them. Yeah, this is what we were expecting all along. It's essentially an angle here, but doesn't matter because we're not animating. That could just be filled up. And here's the curve. Of course, you gotta do the other side too. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 anyway. This may look awkward, but it's 1, 2, 3, and even Angon is like a, in some conditions it's fine. This is an open thing here, so we'll do F. It's actually doing this automatically. Do it this way. 2, 3, 4. What happens? Did it actually feel it? Did feel it. Closed. Okay, gotcha. So let's do select, enter, select all, and by distance. 3. So here's what we have now. Okay, approaching 400, and this is only done for this side. Let's call this side, one of the sides. Okay, and this is where it pisses me off. Z. Which one of these was object? Here. Let's see if we can optimize this even more. And there's the face there that is extra. This vertex here can also be merged. This one could be merged to this. Last. Okay. And then this one can be merged here. Okay. And even more ridiculously, this one can be merged here. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Who cares? Use a triangle. Okay. And as I was saying with the angons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. This could be an octagon. The octagon. Won't matter though. This could be merged here. It's a straight line. Okay. Because this is still a square. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could, what is that? These two faces. These two quads. You do that. Like this one. Same thing here. Maybe there is a limitation there that I'm not aware. Let's see. Would certainly be done here. And also here. Two, three. Yeah. Okay. Did you delete this face? Nope, you did not. Let's cut this one off too. This is merged to bust. Instead of dissolving, let's do it this way. This could be 1, 2, 3, 4. So do this. Alt J. Here's a weird face. Okay. Sometimes it looks awkward, but it's legit weird. But I think what makes more sense is that this is actually one face here. These two are connected. Could certainly do that. Maybe this is where I messed it up though. No, I did not. Yeah, let's dissolve those two edges. The worst case scenario, we'll move this one here. Dissolve. Let's actually do that because we don't really need anything like that. This is certainly not needed. When you delete that edge, okay. Let's see if we can apply this mesh data to this other. Sorry, this one. this side. So when we do that, it goes to different places. I don't know why. Side. Actually, it's sort of merging. So here's what happens. From 392, leave, cut down 170. How do I keep the position? By this feels wrong to me too. How could it be? Millionth of a meter, millionth of 3 centimeters in Z. It's slightly elevated, yet it's sort of 0, 0. What is going on here? When we do this, of course, now we reset everything. Makes sense to me. It's 1885. So maybe we'll copy this and this. We go into the data, do this, but is this changing the whole data though? Changing for both. We'll do tab out for this one. We'll move this 18 like this, but in the other, which is actually, we have to double this too. Hide extract this. Of course, when we do this, it's gonna say, no, we have duplicate stuff. 310. So that's awesome. Also, this is using a new material. Good. This is not using that. But things kind of look good. So all the ones that are using shaders. So can we do something like, was it select everything that uses by materials? Select all by type. It's as if just the other day I saw I don't have anything selected. '19 is using display. Click to make it. No, we don't. We want to select everything that. We just do this. It still thinks this is the last selected ones. And if I deselect, yeah. But plank 001, deselect, it's still. Because I can do this. Right click. Okay, I think I know material utilities, that's it. Select by material, shader. All of them will be now wood. Nothing is using shader, I believe. Wood, wood. What happened? Full shader. Extend selection. It's faces with the material. Okay. Assign material wood. Okay, clean material slots. Not just the active object, everything. Clean. Then assign wood. I don't want to hear a word of shader. It's all wood, right? It looks wood everywhere. This is the lightning here is the normals are not. Am I wrong? Okay, lit. Kind of lit here too. Why are we not getting enough lit here? We are close to being done. Do you have a face here still? Oh no, you. You do have a face. This has been copied but made individual, like unique. This also has a face. Okay, you could get this under 300. That would be a big accomplishment. Where can we cut corners? You already deleted your bottom part, not the side part though. Interesting. Okay, two more triangles, and we are done. One might argue that we'll never get to see the side here, like its face. But then again, when you look at it, if it was empty, you would actually see the ground. Because it would be sort of like, you know, angled like that. What is this? Oh, you never get to see this part for sure. Not even this. And this part here, you see it. You don't see this inside part. Okay, that's fine. And we are under 300. Okay, so one thing we were trying to do here was to bend this a bit more. So let's go into Vortex Mode, both. So we'll do GX, and we'll do it 1 centimeter, maybe 2 centimeters. And it's actually already in centimeters. 1 millimeter. Do 2. Okay. So here's the difference. Was this, and now the other way. how do you redo? Control Shift Z. So that was 2 millimeters out. Dx minus 2. That. Right? It. So when we look at it orthographically like this, a bit of more character here. First, the angle will be like this. So worst case scenario in the game. Yeah, this is a little bit more top down, like okay. Here. More like this, yes. Looks good. I should most likely have a camera setting that I'm not manually adjusting every single time. But we are done with this. So we are below 300. Properly named. Looks good. I think I'm going to commit my changes and call it a day soon. Go to source tree. I want to check in page selected all this. We've done carrot and tomato, we fixed it. Buckets, we changed labels inside there. Rain barrel inside, we have changed it. Raised bed, also a lot of work. Table and chair, we are just done with that. Haven't I done more changes here? Tomato, yes, we actually that. Wheelbarrow. Where is wheelbarrow? This has been labeled as wheelbarrow. I changed. There you go. So basically, trellises have been, yeah, trellis has been labeled as trellises. This is deleted, and this is sort of new. Wheelbarrow has been labeled as this. Tomato, there was an extra blend one, so we actually do this too. So we'll do like trellis super weekend with fruits. We could push those changes or don't push them yet. This, we will discard all this. We don't need that. Why are you still showing this? Push. Develop to develop. Done. Contains work that you do not have localization. Should fetch first. There are some changes gotta pull, and I'll commit. It's already been committed. We'll push after. Did Jordan change this? He did. Look, he's exported to this because I. So what I should be doing here is should be overwriting his with the new changes that I have made. This is the conflict. So how do we exactly resolve this here? Not exactly text file, is it? Um, okay, I feel confused a bit. What am I supposed to do? Unstaged. I feel tired. I will make a copy of this file for sure in desktop just in case I fuck up something. Here is desktop Blender raised bed copy. Done. So now, based on what I know, we could stage this, which is my local copy. So I'm overwriting his stuff. We'll do this. It's most likely that it's going to give me another warning. No, done. Okay. So I have merged his changes to okay. And in his, there is no reference to resources, which makes me think that our resources raised bed has been pushed forward. Good. And I think we can confirm that too by doing this. You can go to GitHub, Urban Farmer, resources. We are gonna go into develop Blender models, raised bed. Download this to downloads folder, open it. And here's beautiful raised bed that we did the other day. So we can now safely delete the desktop copy and the downloads copy. And I think we are safe and we are done. So just a recap of the stream. After almost 4 hours, today we have fixed, well, Friday and today we collectively fixed buckets, carrot and tomato. Tomato has a lot of details, so we did most of that work on Friday. And rain barrel, the mesh has been fixed. Raised bed, also Friday's topic. Table and chair, we did it today. Wheelbarrow was resized. So Trellis is also a massive cleanup. And that concludes the stream, I think. So next stream might be tomorrow. And maybe we'll actually put all this into Godot and lay our garden out. And that we could have the garden to look at and work with. So that will be all for today, though. Have a good night.